50 tips and tricks in LEGO Fortnite. No matter what height you're falling from, don't worry about taking any damage. Simply do a jump attack and you'll land without a scratch. One of the scariest ways to die is from a brood. These guys are massive, but don't worry because you can secretly defeat them without any weapons. Just lead these guys into the nearest river or lake and they'll straight up drown. Let's talk about that jump attack though. Not only does it solve fall damage, it also stops you from drowning. When swimming, you lose stamina insanely fast, but if you jump and attack constantly, it uses way less stamina, allowing you to swim way further. And if you're like me, always running out of arrows, here's what I started doing. There's plenty of enemy camps around, and one guy always has a crossbow. Take out the other NPCs, build some walls around you, but just avoid getting shot. They fire unlimited arrows, so you can just pick up as many as you want. At the end of the day, this is mainly a survival game, and not surprisingly, your bed is the greatest tool. Just by going to sleep, you can out-heal harsh weather conditions, or just go AFK in the toughest areas. Even better, your hunger bar isn't affected in the bed, no matter what. Speaking of hunger, you might be tempted to start a farm. Sure, recommended, but there's a farm right in front of you at the start of the game. These raspberry bushes could be a lifesaver as long as you don't fully break them. Over time, they grow back the fruit for you to infinitely take. Hunger can be distracting, but rollers are even more annoying. When they roll at you, it's the worst. They just don't know when to quit, but here's where I tell you to get a shield. With this, you can block their attack and stun them. And that's not all, your next hits will deal double damage, saving durability and time. If you don't have a sword to fight them with, just use some bones. Throw one down and rollers will be distracted by the bone, leaving you to make an escape. One of the most overpowered heals in the game is a snowberry shake. Once you build a juicer, collect some snowberries, throw them in with some milk, and boom, you've got the best healing item out there. But also, if you put the snowberries in a grain mill, they turn into seeds, allowing you to have a farm in your village that endlessly creates these heals for you. It gets even crazier if you combine the shake with a cool-headed charm. It'll let you explore lava caves with ease. These are the best places for high-level ores and materials, and with these healing items, you can walk in there without a care in the world. One of the strangest things about LEGO Fortnite is the sleep system. In Minecraft, you can just get into bed and skip nighttime, but not here. You just gotta lay there and nothing happens. Pretty weird, but there is a way to sleep through the night. Just get into bed, go back to lobby and rejoin. There you have it, daytime. Another underrated mechanic is crouching, and this goes completely over some people's heads. It's a simple button, but effective. If you crouch, you'll stop alerting enemies and can just walk right past them. And did you know there's a glider in this game? It's pretty late into your progress, but here's how to get it as early as possible. Make sure your crafting bench is rare quality and build a loom. Then, once you gather wool fabric, silk fabric, and flexwood rods, you can make the glider. Even better, if you use this in the desert biome, you can combine it with the geysers to get around really quickly. Okay, make sure you don't die from the glider though. It can kill you in seconds if you use it wrong. A lot of people didn't know this actually takes up your stamina, and once you run out, you'll fall to your death. Even while running, stamina is just annoying, but here's how to take advantage of it. If you stop sprinting at the last second, your bar will recharge way faster than if you run it out. This allows you to start running again at any time during the recharge, which is super useful for escaping danger. With this in mind, here's how to get tons of epic materials without using any tools. Head into the desert and find a brood. Then make them charge at you, and they will break anything they run into, including rare minerals. Alternatively, if you're looking for flex wood, craft some boom barrels. These will blow up a ton of cacti in the desert, dropping dozens of wood for you instantly. While we're on the topic of brutes though, farming isn't the only way to take advantage of them. Take high ground against these guys and just pound them full of arrows. It's a surefire way to defeat them without any risk. One of my favorite tricks in this video involves chests. Pretty annoying when you run out of room to place these down, but what if I told you they could be stacked on top of each other? Just put down a 4x8 shelf piece and boom, you have double the storage space. In fact, you don't even have to use chests. There are furniture items like counters, dressers, and cabinets that also work as storage. Not to mention, they look a lot better in your house. Also, make sure to use the smaller counter over the large one. A large has 8 slots instead of 6, but the small one can fit 2 in the same space, giving you 12 total slots. And trust me, if you're just starting out, please make sure your village is placed near a desert biome. It has the best materials, items, and encounters in the game, and having to walk all the way to the desert in late game will ruin you. Move your village closer as early as possible to save so much time. Now you're probably wondering, what's the actual benefit of having villagers? Well, sure, you could give them a job, but what about those that just walk around like Sunflower? Well, actually, they're super useful, helping you fight even the toughest enemies with no problem. If you get attacked at your village, just walk back home and let your residents fight instead. It's not like they could die. And this might sound weird, but if you want to upgrade your village fast, build a ton of grills. This will skyrocket your rating, letting you hit that requirement for the next upgrade level quickly. But if you want to unlock some exclusive items, you'll have to keep upgrading your village all the way to level 7. Not only does it allow you to have more NPCs, but some of these perks are seriously underrated, especially gifts. Once you unlock this, talking to NPCs regularly can give you free recipes for decorations, building pieces, resources, and a ton more. The crafting instructions are actually exclusive to these gifts and even depend on what biome you're settled in, so talk to everyone daily to unlock everything. If you're exploring to find resources to upgrade, make sure you follow rule number 1. Before you set out on an adventure, always take enough wood with you to craft a bed on the go. Make sure to set a respawn point before entering caves, fighting tough enemies, or looting resources that are far away. That way, if anything goes wrong, you spawn to your backpack so you can continue where you left off. Now, if you don't want to travel 100 miles to get into a desert, before you create a world, search up popular seeds. Every world is randomly generated using these numbers, and if someone found a good one, you can type in the exact same code. Another great trick is with the grappler. Yeah, you can make this thing out of Lego, and just like in BR, it has no fall damage, so make sure to use it to your advantage. And if you're used to carrying a torch in your offhand, this tip will make exploring caves even easier. Instead, throw down the torches or place a campfire to light the cave. Now, you can swap it out for a shield to fight way better underground. Once you're heading back home, if you find yourself getting lost, take advantage of the campfire trick. Next time you're at base, place a bunch of them down, and the more smoke trails you have, the easier it'll be to see from far away. Just be sure it's your campfire and not a group of enemies. Scoundrels could randomly spawn, and I gotta say, the loot, it's not the best. But don't leave behind their broken swords, instead give them to all your NPCs who will actually use them. If you're wondering how to gift them, simply take them on an adventure and the option appears. But this isn't the only time to use it. Whenever you go out exploring, you should always take a villager on the journey with you. They help fight off creatures, mine resources, and the best part, if they die, they'll just respawn and teleport straight back to you. And you also shouldn't underestimate the secret storage of plants. Garden plots have one space for you to put the seed in, but once you do, it's taken away and left empty. It's a great way to store any valuable items that you don't want your friends getting a hold of. But you will want to talk to your villagers because once your base is high enough level, you can send them on jobs. All they need is the right workbench and they'll come back with tons of resources. If you pay attention to what they have to say, some of them are better at certain jobs than others. For example, any farming related villagers will usually tell you they're better at gardening than other NPCs. So basically just make sure you chat with them and assign them to the best job for more resources. And that's not the only thing to talk about because they also provide huge tips for your game. Chat with any explorer type villagers and there's a chance they'll give hints on where to find a sand or snow biome in your world. Especially useful if there's none for miles. If you thought crossbows were good for combat, wait until you use the double bow. Just like the double pump, you can hold 2 and switch between them when firing for some rapid damage. Some enemies only take 2 hits, so it's really easy. If you prefer taking care of animals, you might be wondering how to get them into pens. All you gotta do is build half of the enclosure and drop food inside to attract them. Most of them like fruit and vines, so it's easy to get them inside, but just know that animals despawn when you leave the world, so you can only farm their resources during your session. And if you ever get a full inventory and wish you could carry just one more thing, there's a trick that actually works. Simply spam the pickup button as you walk towards your home and it keeps swapping them out until you get there. One thing you should never carry though is raw meat. Sure, it doesn't have any negative effects, but it's 100 times better to cook it first. Some foods don't just restore health, but also give an additional boost. Foods like pies and pizza give over 20 health and 5 extra hearts, so make sure to pay attention to the pink icons when cooking. These are the ones that give you a bonus. Just make sure you don't drop it in lava because it'll be pretty hard to reach unless you use the stealth feature. Pressing crouch actually gives you a further reach distance, so you can pick up items that fell into lava without getting the hot feet. If you're exploring a cave that can't reach a ceiling, you gotta remember to take wood with you. You can easily build some quick stairs to get up, and once you're done, just break it in 3 punches to get the materials back. So if you run into creatures down there, taking them on with your teammate is the best option. You can completely overpower almost any enemy with more than one person, stunning them constantly so you don't even get attacked. Maybe you don't have a friend? Well, your villagers could do the exact same thing. One of the most difficult things to beat in LEGO Fortnite isn't the enemies, it's water. For some reason, you can only swim a few meters before you drown, leaving you with the option of going around, spamming attack, or building a bridge across. My favorite though is by far boat. You could create one with platforms and thrusters, making it insanely easy to cross large bodies of water. If you're crossing the mountains instead, keep an eye out for bushes. They'll stop fall damage, so they're perfect to save your high jump. Just make sure it's the large ones because the smaller bushes will not help you. But any of them can help with enemies. If you're running from one and about to lose your last heart, jump in a bush and they'll simply lose interest. It gives you time to eat some food, regain health before going on the run again. If you spot a giant rainbow on your travels, make sure you sprint towards it. If you build up to the cloud at the end and dance with the characters, you'll receive a bunch of loot as a reward. These rainbows only stay out during the day, so make sure you visit them fast. Not the only random occurrence, supply drops could also rift in, and let me tell ya, they drop some really good loot. Another free gift can be found by following Rip Butterflies. These guys spawn randomly and will lead you through the world to a reward. It might be a chest, even a llama, so it's always worth checking out. That's 50 tips, hope you guys enjoyed. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.